Lieutenant General Richard Newton, who joins us now with his military analysis of this. And we bring up our maps guys, the telestrator here for the general. I want to follow up exactly on what Robert was talking about. And that's, if there is a deal on hostages and there's some sort of a ceasefire, we have a map here that looks at the IDF's advance. And, Robert's point is if you just square off the northern part of the Gaza Strip, the IDF pretty much, according to their reports and what we know, they've controlled a lot of that. Now they want to take what they've done, up here. They want to move down here. They want to get into the southern part of the Gaza Strip. If there's a pause, say it's 3-4 days, how does that affect, from a practical standpoint, what the IDF's trying to accomplish with their military, General?
Well, Connell, it's a significant pause in favor of Hamas because, as you indicated, the Israeli Defense Forces, especially their ground forces, have over the last several weeks have really not quite at lightning speed, but very quickly have taken over control of the northern Gaza area, especially in Gaza City, and that's where the main capabilities and leadership at one point were located from Hamas's standpoint. They've now moved into the south, and so this pause would give them an opportunity to again to regroup in the southern part of Gaza. Through their, labyrinth of tunnels and so forth, as well as rearm their munitions. So it's an opportunity for Hamas to regroup strategically, as well as anticipate tactically Israel on the move from the north to the south. But if there's a pause in that based on these negotiations, that would give them an advantage tactically on the battlefield as well. I'm speaking about Hamas at this point.
Right, and they've been under fire. They've been under the gun from Israel, literally. And to your point, Israel's military advances seem to have been efficient, and they seem, to have disarmed. We don't know percentage-wise how much, but a significant part of Hamas's capability. So maybe from the Israeli side, they feel like, all right, we can afford this pause, but you say you'd be worried about it if you were in charge.
Yeah, from a military commander standpoint, I would be, but you've got to think in terms of other aspects of the conflict, and those are certainly internal domestic challenges that the Netanyahu government faces, as well as international aspects of this, because Hamas is being exceptionally effective in the information war campaign of this, making it appear that they're the ones that they're the victims here, and they're the ones that actually did the attack on October 7th and all the brutality that has come with it, especially with civilians and using civilians as human shields and so forth. And so there's an information war aspect of this that Israel has to consider also, both domestically as well as internationally. The last point is that Robert had reported that supposedly in your conversation that Hamas was looking forward to having more aid coming in through Rafah aid and so forth. Yep. They don't really care at all about the aid, I believe. They also don't care about the civilians. What they're doing is they're using them as human shields and so forth. This is specifically to help them regroup on the battlefield, and also it's to help them extend the message that they're the victim to the world. This is Hamas's standpoint, and that they're under fire from an invading Israeli forces, which really is just the other way around.
But if the aid gets in, General, would that help Israel's case? In other words, in this information warfare battle that you're talking about, because then, they say to them, this is the best we could do. We're trying to help on the humanitarian side because, as there's been so much, and you alluded to this, global pressure on the Israelis to allow this. So would they actually be able to, once the pause is complete, maybe execute their military plans even more efficiently in the long run? I guess that would be the hope from their side, at least.
It would be, and I think so. I think Israel's looking for all elements of power being supported here, especially on the information war campaign that they're challenged with, especially on the international front.
Yep.
And the backdrop is you also have other Arab nations in the region, specifically Egypt and Qatar, helping with these negotiations. Israel is familiar with these negotiations, not only through those nations I just mentioned, but also with Hamas as well. They've been on their doorstep, since 2007. So this isn't anything particularly new. But I think what they're weighing right now in their war cabinet is really trying to see how many hostages they can get out. What's the timeline look like? What does that mean to their forces in the field? What does that do to their momentum, as well as understanding where they could be in the state of play from an operational standpoint, say in the next several days, but the next several weeks.
Which would
Final
give them.
point is.
Oh, go ahead. Final point. Go ahead.
Final point. I would anticipate that there would be other negotiations, perhaps for other future pauses. Let's say, for instance, and my sources say, think of a hostage, freeing up hostages, but the number of 50, on the Israeli side, and perhaps 150 Palestinian prisoners that would be exchanged. That would be phase one of the hostage negotiations,
Yes.
and then there could be phase 2 and 3. That's something
it was reported, Axios had some of this and other news outlets as well, so it's speculative, but there was something to that effect reported earlier. There might be some math involved where, say, Hamas, quote unquote, finds 10 hostages, that leads to another pause. Those types of things were speculated. So to your point, we might find out in the very near future. General, it's always good to see you. Thanks. Thanks so much for watching. Just go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.